Hello everybody and welcome to Radio Redux. It is I, Kevin, here once again with another Omnibus. Yes, something very special just for you guys on YouTube. We have just finished our discussion of the best video game soundtracks, hosted by Urtheart, accompanied by the lovely Viper and Skyblaze from Radio Sega. This was actually recorded some time ago, but we've only managed to get the 4 parts, which was actually condensed into 3 episodes of Radio Redux, up and out very recently. However, those 4 parts, those 4 episodes, as was intended, were such because at one time or another they had the actual music in, various background elements, but they had to be stripped out because of the restrictions on the likes of Spotify, etc. However, YouTube has none of those such restrictions, so here is, from part 1 through to part 4, completely with all the various music bits as intended, everything wrapped up as an omnibus. Do take care and enjoy. I'll leave you in the capable hands of Urtheart.
Welcome, music lovers all, to this episode, and a very special LMC episode, because while I am Urtheart, I am the only LMC member today, well, LMC staff member I guess, because I have 2 guests from the beautiful Radio Sega. We have the victorious Viper.
Victorious somewhat, but not in the last LMC quiz, that's for sure.
Well, that's true, but yeah, no, you got another year to make up for that.
Exactly, I got a year's worth of studying hard, I'm sure.
And we also have the stupendous Skyblaze.
Hello. Thank you very much for the compliment.
That's alright, and I think you both deserve it, because I kind of brought you 2 on as the experts, because, well, you're the DJs. I'm have some music ability, supposedly, according to my degree. Well, not degree, my qualifications. There we go. Don't ask. But yes, as you may have guessed, we are talking about music today, and very specifically, I've brought these 2 on to discuss our favourite video game soundtracks of all time. And yeah, I mean, there was a lot to choose from. I've been working on my list for a while. How easy did you 2 find your list?
Difficult. Very difficult.
Yep.
Yeah. I did set us a few rules that may have made it a bit easier. Like, for me, it cut out, about 40 different games from one franchise. So the rules were the normal rules: no games you worked on, which I think only applies to me in this case. 1 game per franchise. And I didn't particularly give you hard cast rules on what to consider a franchise because I trusted you both, but this was just so we had some variety in there. Because, otherwise it could have been 5 Sonic soundtracks, which, to be quite frank, I might do at a later date. But we're going to go in a bit of an order. I think we've decided beforehand, so we'll just run through. I'm going to go first, then Viper, then Skyblaze, and we'll keep going, and we'll go from our number 5s to our number 1. So is everyone ready?
Let's do it.
Yep.
Cool. Well, to start off, I'm going to go with one that is quite renowned for its music, and also one of its tracks being one of those ones that you can put to anything, especially any other game made by this developer. It is a Platinum Games soundtrack. Any ideas?
No, actually.
'Cause that could be a few of them, I suppose.
Yeah, for sure.
If it's anything like what I said, then Bayonetta maybe?
No. So I will admit, originally when I was toying with more rules, I did at one point maybe have a rule of 1 soundtrack per publisher. But I thought that was a bit too strict. But I have somehow done that anyway. But my Sega one's coming later. This is my Konami one.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Metal
they
Gear
made that.
Rising. Honestly, a load of people love the music. And, I mean, the general soundtrack is very good. It's got some nice kind of hard electric guitar pieces for your general battling. But the highlight, as with a few other games that may be people's favourite, is the boss battles. Because that music is amazing.
Incredible.
Yeah, I mean, the soundtrack even is really... If you buy the official soundtrack, it gives you the vocal versions and the non-vocal versions.
Perfect.
Yeah. Just in case you want to do karaoke. But even in the game, while you're fighting the bosses, it will start with just the basic melody. And things will start coming in as you either do better or you start parrying and countering. And by the end of it, you've got everything, blasting full sound. This soundtrack's a delight. All the way from the one that everyone knows, Rules of Nature, which is your first boss battle, which, your first boss battle is Metal Gear Ray. If that's your first boss battle, things can only go up from there, right? The best part is, though, is like a lot of people go into that one and just start hacking and slashing. If you know what you're doing, you can literally parry everything the boss does, and it looks really, really good.
That's Platinum's hallmark. It's awesome when you can just pull off anything like that, any sort of technical ability, I guess, and especially having a good soundtrack to pair with that is that's bliss.
The funniest thing is someone who did a Let's Play of both Metal Gear Rising and the Wonderful 101 put Rules of Nature to the first boss of Wonderful 101, and it fits 1-to-1.
Damn.
Which maybe suggests they're running out of ideas sometimes, but but my favourite track actually has to be one of the final ones, which has had a recent resurgence via memes, which is Has to Be This Way.
Yes.
I mean, let's be honest, they're all classics. I actually happily just listen to the entire soundtrack. I'd say there's the only one I'm not as fond of is Monsoon's track, but I'd still happily listen to it. It's just the weakest one. A Stranger I Remain is also a really nice contrast one, because I think it's the only one with a female voice in it. For the female boss character, so it makes sense. But yeah, it's a pleasure to listen to this one, and one of the big selection for all my soundtracks is there had to be at least one track that hasn't left my mobile phone playlist for since I've had it, and Metal Gear Rising has 3 tracks in that one, so and one of the instrumentals, just because I love it so much. My only disappointment with the soundtrack is there is actually one boss battle that's missing off it.
Oh.
Because it's the DLC exclusive boss for Blade Wolf. His final boss is unique, and so he gets his own track. But it's not in the original. It's not in the original soundtrack version.
Well, thank you, Game Reps, for that. I guess you've got to come in clutch as per usual.
But yeah, Metal Gear Rising is very much... And to be honest, I think this is one of those soundtracks you could listen to without even knowing the game. It's just a good...
Hi there.
Certainly the vocal one.
I said hi there, that's me.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, there's nothing like this in the rest of the Metal Gear series. Sure, Snake Eater's great, but... this is definitely my preferred soundtrack, and I actually think this is my favourite soundtrack for a Platinum game as well.
Yeah, I think it's I'd say it's the most renowned one for sure as well, the one I always hear the most, and yet for some reason I still didn't put 2 and 2 together when you asked us to guess. That's on me.
No, it's fair. To be fair, Bayonetta is one I also have at least 2 tracks on my playlist, although Fly Me to the Moon has come and gone on my preference, but the remix of Afterburner Infinite Climax,
Ooh, yeah.
I do love that one, but I don't know if I can listen to the entirety of the Bayonetta soundtrack, which I do own. I own a physical copy of. I don't own a physical copy of this soundtrack because it's really hard to get a hold of. So,
really?
Yeah.
Huh.
But yeah, that is my number 5. I'm going from 5 to 1, mostly just by order of vague favourites. I like all of them. A lot of these have different stylings as well, which helps. But yeah, Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, definitely, this one's easily available digitally. Definitely go get it. It's wonderful. We'll probably play you a sample after this, because, hey, we're on a radio show.
We got plenty of time to kill.
right, Viper, what's your number 5?
Sure. So unlike you, where I've seen the plans and you spent years meticulously crafting your list, I went on gut entirely because I'm the sort of person where I would absolutely overthink it and like over mull on it, and in the process go, oh, I forgot like these 10 games I liked anyway to even shortlist them. So in the end, I just went, think of the first 5 that you love that come to your gut. I can tell you like my favorite instantly, and I can tell you a couple others, but there's like a couple here. It's like, yeah, I think this is like really good, but I could also see this getting leapfrogged by other things I've already heard or other things in the future, that kind of thing. So I'd say mine up to the top isn't hugely definitive, but it's like an indication of how I was feeling when I wrote it. So
That's fair.
Keep that in mind. You might hear another show where I go, doesn't even make the list or whatever, but in at number 5, I went with Mega Man 1, and I think that's a little bit of a controversial one personally, because 2 and, well, to a lesser extent 3, 4, and 5 as well are really like well beloved as chiptune NES soundtracks, and as like overall gaming soundtracks, they often come up in the conversation, and all you have to do is look at OC Remix to kind of prove not only the point that they're really influential, but also significantly more popular than Mega Man 1. But despite that, for me, there's an inherent simplicity to what comes with these tracks, and like the settings they use in as well, because the game itself is much more simple than its everything that comes after it. So
it has 2 less robot masters than all the rest, doesn't it?
And that too as well, and like even a lot of the basic music loops are really short outside of the robot masters, so you'd think on paper it's a way less impressive soundtrack and I should be more impartial to everything that came later, but they don't even register on the same scale as me, because the like magnitude of the compositions actually included within the levels are so much bigger than many other Mega Man games, I feel like, in terms of staying power to me personally. And I think I couldn't name you any of the random, I couldn't like hum you any of the random themes from later games, but every single thing here from beginning to end I could probably have like a good guess at, despite not being that hot on the game itself. So I don't know, it's tough to like put way too many words into this one, but easily one of my favourite 8-bit soundtracks and chiptune soundtracks in general. I feel like every time they've tried to come back to it, it loses something from a lot of it's so based around like the hardware constraints of the NES chip, and although there's been a lot of good attempts to like remix it in future compilations and future re-releases of the game and all that, they never quite match the feeling and like the quaintness that comes out of the NES, because it matches the game itself in that way as well, that it was just a small project, not really designed to go anywhere and that sort of thing, and then ended up blowing up, and in turn you got these behemoth like 2 or 3 minute tracks, which is pretty long for an NES game, coming into the future sequels, whereas here you've got much simpler compositions, but because of that they have that staying power to me almost. So
I feel like though they're also some of the most iconic, because
yeah,
certainly while I know I've mostly heard the Mega Man tracks through remixes, but definitely like major themes, like obviously they reuse a lot of them in later ones, like I'm pretty sure Proto Man's theme is the same throughout most of them.
Yeah. But it's, I can't like quantify it exactly, I'd guess, in terms of, I can say why it's my favourite to me, like in terms of all of that stuff, but I do think it's, I understand where other people are coming from also in preferring later entries, and actually that goes for more than just like the music and stuff. But like you say, there is also an iconicness to these tracks that I think makes them stand out and weather the test of time a bit better, and even the robot masters they're associated with. I mean, there's a reason everyone knows like the base 6 just from design alone, but could you name anyone else aside from could you name anyone from like Mega Man 6 off the top of your head, unless you're a big fan of the games? But you look at this and you look at their themes and it's like, oh, this instantly comes to mind. There's something about, as I say, it's the way it keeps it simple to me, both in terms of game design and as a soundtrack, that actually makes it stand out to me when I go back and like, oh, what's my favourite NES soundtrack or whatever, for example. This one always pops into my mind, so yeah, it came to mind pretty quickly when I was thinking of, I should probably get some chiptune in here, or some proper chiptune anyway, because it's the sort of thing I tend to listen to on my own time, and yet, despite that, a lot of it's from stuff that I wouldn't, as an entire soundtrack, class as my favourite. I have favourites from that soundtrack or things like that, but I wouldn't call the entire thing.
So part of the problem
list.
with the chiptune era, the kind of 8-bit era in particular, is that memory sizes were so constrained that you don't really get a full soundtrack as such. You get like a couple of songs.
Yeah.
Or
and it's
a
hard
lot
to
of
kind
short riffs, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And it's hard to kind of say, well, this is a great soundtrack based on the fact that there's like 2 great songs in it.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, it got a bit better the next generation as well, with 16-bit, and even to a lesser extent in the later days of, well, more so NES when you had stuff like mappers. I mean, Master System stayed pretty simple the entire way through, and well, I'm sure with some of the home computers, once they got the minor upgrades, they got a bit better, but certainly in the case
I
of
think the Commodore and such may have struggled a little bit with the music.
Yeah, I mean, maybe not the C64, but like other contemporaries definitely never quite got like enhanced sound capabilities, and well, on the Famicom side, you flat out got that through the enhancement chips that companies would put in, but even over in like the US and Europe and anywhere else that was barred from having those add-on chips, even just the increase in memory size just was such a step up, and this game still manages, even in spite of being a pretty small NES game from what I remember, to stick with you in terms of its melodies, because it's 86 or something, isn't it? And
I believe
compare it
so.
to say like Mario Bros. The year before, which has 3 themes pretty much, and the castle theme's a really short loop, and it's really about it in terms of the main level themes, whereas every single level here has its own unique theme that last ages, and the way they cut around that is obviously make random things, like the character select screen's about 3 seconds long, and just plays over and over again. So they did have to cut some corners, but it's impressive how much of a good soundtrack they crammed into such a small space. So I think it's a lot of factors like that, external factors as well, that lead to me enjoying, especially some of the earlier soundtracks in games as well, is the technical prowess as much as the musical capability, I guess. So Mega Man excels in all departments for me based on that. So yeah, I think I've rambled about it for long enough, hopefully.
Yeah, it's a good choice. I'm not a massive fan of those early Mega Man games. I've actually never played, or at least never seriously played Mega Man, the original Mega Man series. I played a bit of X, but yeah, the original one was never one to appeal to me. But it's got plenty of fans, and I'm sure this is the thing. That first game would have set the precedence for future games in terms of music as well, and there's still themes that lasted throughout the entirety of it, like when the level select going from the level select to the level had a very similar theme throughout the whole time, I think.
Yeah, the famous jingle even like survived into X a little bit, I think, into that series and beyond. I don't know too much outside of like the classic platformers kind of side of Mega Man, but just such simple compositions as well, like your sound effects and stuff like that, pretty much got right from the offset. So a lot of games can't say that. They had to go back and like maybe the iconic stuff started in the second or third game or anything like that, but they got it immediately right off the bat. So it's always something to be commended, to me at least.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, that's about me for my number 5 anyway.
Skyblaze, your number 5, please.
Turrican on the Amiga.
Ooh,
All
Straight in
hail
there.
Chris Hulsbeck.
yes.
Well, I had to have some chiptune in here. Come on, it's me. But yeah, if we're talking about like very early games that actually had a soundtrack as opposed to the aforementioned just like a few songs, Turrican is a really good example of this. It had pretty much a full soundtrack. The level themes were all different. It had an ending theme. It was actually quite long. I think that's like nearly 5 minutes long. No, I've checked. It's over 5 minutes long.
Oh wow. And that's without loops, or is it also with a?
I think there's. So because it's Hulsbeck and he does that sort of thing. He's a madman. But yeah, it's a great soundtrack. It makes great use of the sound hardware in the Amiga. There's a reason why everyone kind of like, you know, does We're Not Worthy to Hulsbeck whenever he turns up at demo events and stuff, which he still does apparently. He just rocks up like, hello, yes, I am Chris Hulsbeck. It's like... Yeah, apparently if there's a demo event or a chiptune event in Germany, he will just turn up. It's like, hi!
What a legend.
And then everyone bows.
Yes. Okay, the thing that kind of like really made me think, okay, this is the one. This is the one I'm gonna pick. Is that part of this Turrican soundtrack was rearranged for a philharmonic orchestra, and has been performed on at least 2 different occasions as part of concerts. So, Royal Stockholm Philharmonic Orchestra have performed it, apparently.
I mean, this is the thing. There's a lot of games that should get the Philharmonic treatment that sadly haven't, but
Yeah.
glad to see some of them do.
Oh, yes. And apparently it was... So the event took place on 4th of August 2009 and combined performances of Hulsbeck's Symphonic Shades rearrangement with excerpts of Dramatica by Yoko Shinomura.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Has
Titan.
anyone got a time travel device handy? I need to go to 2009.
Not that goes backwards, only forwards.
Damn. But yes, that is my pick.
Yeah.
I'm not. This is without even mentioning the Commodore 64 version, which nicked off with parts of Transformers the movie.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, the Commodore 64 version, which I don't think is Skillspec, but it's somebody else. Yeah, Subsong 2 from the Commodore 64 version of Turrican is basically a chiptune version of Escape from Transformers the movie. And the ending theme from that version is based on the death of Optimus Prime. It is absolutely hilarious.
To be fair, it's not the first game that did that. Like, a lot of Doom soundtrack is taken from a lot of different places, let's say.
Well, if you fancy a really good laugh, listen to the theme from Blake 7 with the theme from Space Harrier.
Oh dear.
Da 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 da. It's like, is that Blake 7 or Space Harrier? Who knows?
It's a 50-50.
Yeah. No, I think that will be a LMC approved choice though for a soundtrack, knowing knowing the boss man.
That's the one we're advertising with.
If you need a copy of that, by the way, Earth, I've got.
Oh, I'm going to be asking
many.
I'm going to be asking you both for like at least you pick one track to go in, and maybe give me a copy if I don't have it or can't get a download for it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm one of these people that I will buy the soundtrack if I can get it, but one on my list is not available for purchase, so those I have to go through different methods of getting, maybe.
Yeah, I think one of them in my case, you're gonna have to rely on me because they're never gonna re-release that thing.
Is there an official release of the original Mega Man soundtrack?
Yes, I think it's on. I know it's certainly on like Spotify and things, but I'm pretty sure, of all places, you can buy it through Steam. So
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Chris Hulsbeck actually put out a remastered version of his Turrican soundtracks on his own website.
Oh, that's
in a helpful
awesome.
That's
sort
good.
of fashion. It's like, thanks, Chris. That's great.
Yeah, it's the same thing with Grant Kirkhope put out Banjo-Kazooie soundtrack, which I think he called The Kitchen Sink and Everything Else. Which literally contains every SFX he made for the game as well.
And didn't that also get taken down at some point? I seem to
Not
recall.
before I got to purchase it and download it.
Lovely.
Mainly because I wanted the Grunty Funhouse remixes.
Ah, yes.
Sadly, that is not on my list. So instead, I'm going to go to my number 4, which is not exactly a crossover, but the franchise has already been mentioned already.
Good start.
However, as I said, I didn't even start playing with the X series. I started with the Game Boy Advance series, known as Zero.
Huh. Oh, wait, yeah. I'm thinking of the wrong game.
I later went back to X and I played X1. Yeah, it's alright. But my favourite series is the Mega Man Zero series. And out of the 4 soundtracks, my favourite is Mega Man Zero 3, Telos. Now, I will say, even before you get to the music, I advise you to look up the cover for the soundtrack, because it is amazing, if not slightly spoilery, for the game itself. But
Gonna do this live.
yeah, if you want to look it up live. But for me, so this is again one of the soundtracks I actually own.
Oh, that's incredible. Sorry.
Yeah. I own all of the Mega Man Zero soundtrack physically. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the final remix album. I think I also own ZX and ZX Advent as well. But yeah, 3 for me has my favourite tracks. I think it's the best overall soundtrack. Highlight for me is definitely the final boss theme, Cannonball, which has had so many good remixes over the years. But I really love the kind of subtlety in the original version, because it adds like little piano bits in it. Admittedly, this is in the soundtrack version, because the original one on the Game Boy Advance, there's a few limitations. So, but even then, it sounds wonderful on the Game Boy Advance version. From the opening theme, the thing I liked about the Zero series over the X series is it did a lot of storytelling, but it didn't just do it through cutscenes or anything. It did it through, like, the music would give you an idea of, like, is this a dangerous place? Is this a somber place? and it would kind of almost warn you of what was coming ahead. But yeah, this is by far, like, I think the Game Boy Advance had a lot of really good music for it that gets a little bit understated.
Absolutely, yeah. Like that 100 times over.
Even, so I mean, obviously this is my Capcom pick, but even if we go back to Sega, I love the Advance series soundtracks. There's a lot of good picks in all of them. I'm trying to figure out. Wario Land 4 had such a weird soundtrack, but I love it still. Yeah, the Game Boy Advance could do a lot of stuff that I think a lot of people just didn't realize it could do. And yeah, this by far was one of my favorite soundtracks. Again, to the point where I was like, I found out there was like a high quality version. I was like, I must have it. Fun fact, I think not all of them, but some of the soundtracks also have audio drama versions of the cutscenes.
Oh, that's amazing.
In Japanese, so
yeah.
I can't understand most of it, but certainly in the fourth soundtrack, I don't know how much I should say because I don't want to necessarily spoil the story, because thankfully the games are available. And actually, I think the soundtrack might be available on Steam as well now, because they recently had the re-release of the.
I think they are
the Zero ZX and Advent combo pack. I know they had like remix ones they did.
Yes, they're all individually available on Steam.
Yeah, so there you go.
$11.49 a pop, by the way. Thanks, Capcom.
I mean, to be fair, I think I paid more than that for the actual physical soundtracks.
At least you're getting the discs, though.
True. Oh, and loads of gorgeous artwork in them.
Yeah, Mega Man. Zero. I know ZX's soundtracks. I'm not too familiar with Zero's personally, but I know they also came with a load of goodies.
Yeah.
And
I think I got a mouse mat with one of them.
Oh wow, that's great. Bring
Still
back
in his
goodies.
wrapper. But yeah, I mean, if nothing else, genuinely go look up the cover for Mega Man Zero 3 Talos. It's
you won't
wonderful.
be disappointed.
No, it's great.
Also, one quick little thing. Correct me if I'm wrong. You were talking about it being on Steam and all platforms. Maybe it might just be a ZX feature now that I'm thinking about it, or ZX. Sorry. Is there not a way on the new collection to play it with the remastered soundtrack? I think is that not a toggle? Oh, that is a toggle.
I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounded familiar to me. For reference, over Christmas I started 01 and haven't got back to it. So
no, 01 is particularly brutal. This is probably one of the other things I liked about 3 is that the first 2 games require you to do a lot of grinding to get your abilities up, and 3 just goes, this isn't worth it. Look, here, start with your main combos already done. It's like, thank you. I must admit, though, I really like the Zero art style as well. Again, I own the art book for this one.
It's so good looking.
Oh, God, it is. A lot of people don't like the way Zero looks in this compared to the Mega Man X games. I'm the other way around. But then I don't have that nostalgia for X because I never had a SNES. So, sorry to all you SNES lovers out there.
No, don't be sorry.
But yeah, that's my number 4.
Compare.
Honestly, I mean, Cannonball's definitely getting played. I've just got to decide whether I play the original one or the remix Mythos version. They did a 5th soundtrack called Mythos, which was like upscaled remixes of the best songs from all 4 games, which is still a fantastic soundtrack. Most people prefer the Mythos version of Cannonball. I like them both, but I have a slight tendency towards the original because I'm a bit of a... I love having multiple different types of instruments, not just, your standard rock group.
Yeah, that's a perfectly valid reason, I think.
Okay, Viper, you're number 4.
Definitely one suffering from recency bias, but I already had an affinity towards its original soundtrack anyway, and I know not everyone feels the same way about it, so I can also see this one being a bit controversial, but recently I've been, having now played the game, I'm super into the soundtrack of Persona 3 Reload. And
Yeah, that's
fair. Like I say, this is one that stirs a lot of people because when the music first started coming out online ahead of the game's release, a lot of people felt it didn't have the same energy and, I don't know, like, vocal stylings of the original as well. And initially I actually felt the same. I didn't like it all that much, but over time it's definitely grown on me to the point where, like I say, it's most likely recency bias as to why this is at number 4, but it's been in regular rotation. This passes the phone test for me. This has mostly not left my my headphones when I'm out and about for the last like 6 months, and I already liked the originals, and it's just given it that new kiss of life as a result of some tracks are just like minorly redone with a new vocalist and things like that, but other tracks are completely, they're the same, you can tell from like the beat and everything like that, but they've been add a whole fresh coat of paint, new colour, everything like that. They've really like given a lease of life as well as all the new stuff that's in there to accommodate.
They've all gone through a remastering process.
Yes, they have, and that's the bit that's controversial. Everyone seems to be able to agree on the new stuff, but even like the remasters either sound different enough or radically different. There's like two ends of the spectrum for the remastered tracks, and I'm personally in favour after having sat through the game and listened to the soundtrack a number of times, so it comes with a strong recommendation for me. Even just if you were to like separate it out into the new stuff and the old stuff, I'd still say I'd stick with this side. So yeah, I don't know how to elaborate on this one too much, really. I think it's one of those ones that does the talking for itself a bit more than I could ever talk my way around it personally.
It's something I need to look into, because I never finished, but I did play the original Persona. Well, I say I played the original one. I played Persona 3 Portable on the PSP.
Which, yeah, that has a lot of stuff that doesn't actually translate over to this version, since the basis was the final PS2 release. So you actually might be surprised by how much you remember and how much you don't remember, almost, I think, in a way.
We'll see, because I don't remember much from the game other than you shoot yourself in the head. But
if you need to remember something...
Persona 4 and 5 had brilliant soundtracks as well. I think I leaned more towards 5.
I will go into a great deal of detail about that later.
Oops, spoilers. But yeah, the series for me has always been quite strong on the music front, so it doesn't surprise me that Free Reload is up there. I just haven't got around to playing Free Reload because there are too many games to play. It's on my backlog list.
The backlog struggle is real.
Yeah.
I've only just started playing Crisis Core Reunion. I've had it for months.
That's the new Final Fantasy remake we're all talking about, right?
It's kind of part of it, to be fair. But I've got literally one trophy left to get in Crisis Core Reunion, and it's like, I'm at it, I just need to beat it, and then it's done. I've been holding on to that for like a year. So, but no, definitely Persona 3 Reload it's on my list, but it's not, for me, it's not a high priority, because I also have, and I bought this physically, Persona 5 Royal to go through. I have played the original, I haven't played the Royal version.
Yeah, and that's gonna eat into your free time.
What's
can tell you right now. Whatever you have, like whatever little understanding of the concept you have, throw it out the window.
Skyblaze, is that Final Fantasy 14?
Yes.
But yeah, no, it's definitely. I mean, I've heard other people say the soundtrack's amazing. Even like those who prefer the original have said it's still really, really good.
Yes, I think, as I say, it's definitely Marmite. That's kind of what I'm trying to get across anyway. And even like when compared to other Persona soundtracks, it's a bit comparing apple and oranges. But I'd also get why people would side with other allegiances. But it's the sort of music I like anyway. I mean, I like all sorts of music, but I guess it's the sort of thing that would be in my heavy rotation anyway, the style of it. So
yeah, something to point out is music is an art form. It's subjective.
We should have started with a disclaimer on this. If you got this far and didn't realise. Hang on, that's not my number 5.
If you're listening to Radio Sega, you've got particular music taste anyway. But I say that Sega has such a wide variety of music anyway.
Yep.
But no,
that's how it never gets old.
But no, Persona 3 Reloaded is a good choice, and I'm sure there'll be plenty of people backing you up on that one.
Hopefully, anyway. I hope I'm somewhat vindicated in my opinion.
watch how I do sit down. Observe it, fires in my soul, uncontrollable fire. Take a beat then, look at me now. Correct your bones, the root cool, make you bow now. Class one to a point to see. Blow, kiss, goodbye, while they scream and shriek. Let it go, let it out, let it go, let it out. Take a deep breath, deep breath, deep breath, deep breath. Lay low, lay high, lay low, lay high. If you feel my vibes, then pop with me. Let it go, let it out, let it go, let it out. Take a deep breath, deep breath, deep breath. Lay low, lay high, lay low, lay high. Clear your heads now, watch a peek.
Skyblaze, you're up.
So this was one of the hardest ones, because I was like, well, I need a Final Fantasy track in there. But then, which Final Fantasy? And I'm like, well, I listened to a lot of the Final Fantasy XIV soundtrack, because I fell down a rabbit hole during the pandemic and have never escaped. But then... And also, when I'm doing DJing at conventions, there's a few... there's usually people that request things. And tracks from this Final Fantasy always get requested. And that's Final Fantasy XIV. But I can't just say Final Fantasy XIV, because that's too big. There's too much of it.
There is a lot, and I would say... As a whole, Final Fantasy XIV, while most of it is original, to be fair, there's a few times it borrows from other parts of the franchise.
So I've narrowed it down to one expansion, and I'm going to say Shadowbringers.
I'm happy with this choice. Shadowbringers is probably my favourite as well.
There's a reason that the nickname for it in fandom was Shadowbangers. Because you've got stuff like, you've got To the Edge, you've got the Shadowbringers title theme, you've got the Twinning Along 4, which is one of the aforementioned always gets requested ones.
Oh yeah, there's a good reason for that.
Because it's a banger.
Admittedly, it's an interesting one as well, because it kind of almost remixes two tunes together.
But it does it in such a clever way.
Yeah.
Because it's the Alexander theme and Escape from Omega, I think.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. But there's also the ones that will just, like, rip your heart out of your chest. I mean, things like Neath Dark Waters. And, you know, some of the tracks where it's like, this is just, like, so sad, and you've got to kind of face out the fact that this is heartbreakingly sad. Because Shadowbringers does that. It will just tear your heart out of your chest and then stomp on it. And then Endwalker does it more. Why do I play this game again?
Because you love it.
Right?
Yes.
I will say my favourite track is actually Insatiable.
Oh, Insatiable's great.
Oh yeah, the first time I heard that on the final boss of the first dungeon, it was instantly just, no, I love this game. You've earned my money already.
Yes. Shut up and take my money.
I already had it.
Yeah, well, yeah. But also Civilizations, which is the theme from the daytime theme from Raktika Greatwood, also known as Lahi.
Yeah.
Which has become a meme into and of itself, which is hilarious.
Are we including the post-patch stuff as well? Because then we've got the really nice remixes from later as well.
Yes, sure. which ones are you referring to? I mean, we're talking about the Final Fantasy VIII remixes.
No, I'm actually thinking of the remix from 14, like Big Fat Tacos.
Oh, yes. Right, to explain to people that don't play Final Fantasy XIV,
Hi.
there is a track called... yes, hello, Viper. There is a track called Ultima Scions and Sinners, which is a remix of an older theme from earlier in the game. the actual lyrics are "Beat the heart of Sabik, the heart of Sabik, the heart of Sabik." But because it's like slightly distorted, what people heard was "Big fat tacos, oh big fat tacos, oh big fat tacos, so big." I am not making this up.
Nope.
In fact, we can put it in. You can listen to it for yourselves.
Yeah, I'll put that one in. I'd also like to point out, and then Square Enix spent, "So you like big fat tacos, do you?"
And the joke is referenced numerous times in Dawn Trail, which is the most recent expansion.
Yep.
That's incredible, to be fair.
And even the, one of my favourite tracks is from the Bolster area.
Oh, Gangos.
Yeah, Blood on the Wind.
Yeah, Gangos is great.
Yeah.
There's also a bunch of tracks that I can put on so when I'm in the bath. Stuff like Sands of Amber from Armorang. The aforementioned Full Fathom 5 and the aforementioned Neath Dark Waters. Really nice, kind of relaxing soundtracks. But yeah, it's got everything. It's got like massive heavy metal bits and like bits that will tear your heart out and bits that you can just kind of chill. Which is why it is my number 4 pick.
I agree. This is my favourite soundtrack out of the Final Fantasy XIV ones. Other than stuff that's borrowed from other Final Fantasy games, I am a bit of a sucker for the 12 soundtrack, which is used quite a lot actually in that expansion.
Yes, it is.
But no, I got
there's some pretty good remixes of the ones from 8 actually. The Extreme, the version of the Extreme they use is pretty good.
Yeah, I think they remix three tracks. What's it called? The like overworld theme. They use. That's probably playing in the background because that's that one.
Yeah.
That's really nicely done. That's actually on my phone as well. I didn't include this one just because.
Bluefield.
Bluefield. That sounds right. Yeah. Yeah. This one kind of fell off a little bit for me because I was like, I don't know if it's just whether I just like that soundtrack or it's the whole of 14. But I definitely agree that I think Shadowbringers is some of my favourites. Definitely the more battle themes and stuff, and Insatiable is by far my favourite track of the entire game. So. Nah, nice. Well, I'll roll on to my number 3 then, and this is the one that has never been officially released. I got my soundtrack initially by recording it myself from the game, because they do have a sound test that you have to unlock for each level. I then later found someone who did like a really good game rip, so I just stole that one. You can probably guess what company did this one.
Is it Nintendo?
Maybe. However, this is a soundtrack for... Now, admittedly, it's a soundtrack for a series that I think is one of Nintendo's best ones, but gets not that much love because it's not a Mario game per se, and it's none of their other big franchises. Because it's Wario time.
Yes.
Wow. But which Wario? I mentioned Wario Land 4 already, and as much as I like that one, I do think Wario Land Shake It, or the Shake Dimension, has such a wonderful soundtrack. Again, this is one where it just, if you put the entire soundtrack on for me, I'll listen happily. I definitely have my favourite tracks, but one of the things I love is that I think the soundtrack throughout the whole game just fits every time that it's put on. And even like I've watched a couple of people let's play this, and one person had like a they were like, hey, I love every piece in this soundtrack except this one level where I think the music is too slow, but everything else is amazing. And if you can get a reaction like that out of a soundtrack, you've done pretty good. Pretty much every basic level has its own unique soundtrack. The thing is, there's like a load of secret levels where they reuse themes. So it's not just the soundtrack they reuse, they also use like the level theme. So, example, there's one level that's based on a train, and then there's another secret level which uses the same train gimmicks. So it reuses that music. But what they usually tend to do is, because all of the soundtracks are in two halves. You have the basic level when you're just running through, and then you have the return journey. So when you get to the end of the level, you free a Myrtle, and then you have a time limit to get back to the entrance, and you'll get like it's not a remix, it's basically a new piece, but in a similar style, but sped up. And yeah, like the whole soundtrack's great. There's a few like remixes in there. Someone pointed out the first level must be a remix. I don't think it is. I think it's the origin of Wario's theme that then gets reused in Smash Bros for his victory theme. He's like do 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 do. That I think came from the Shake Dimension or Shake It. But was it Glitzville is actually a remix from a Wario World level, I think maybe of the same name. But my favourite track in it is Mount Lava Lava. It is a really cool, like, part swing, part electric guitar. One of the things I really love about the soundtrack is it just uses every instrument you can imagine, and it'll always mix some interesting combos in. So, like, Mount Lava Lava's got some wah-wah guitar alongside trumpets and stuff. Glitzville has kind of swing and electric jazz mixed in with it. And it's just a massive... It's a beautiful soundtrack, and if you can find a way to listen to it, I genuinely suggest you listen to it. The game is also great, but good luck playing that because it's a Wii exclusive.
They tend to be like that. I know what you're saying.
Well, it's one of those things where it's like, Nintendo have released some soundtracks through the years. This wasn't one of them, but I suspect that's because it was made by Good Feel Inc., who I think also did stuff like Yoshi's Woolly World and stuff. One of the things that annoyed me the most was like when it was released was I read the Nintendo official magazine review for it, and it's like, okay, it's a silver. It's like, why? And it's like the negative remark was it should have been a Mario game, not a Wario game.
Huh?
I was like, that's not a criticism. But they purposely demarked it down one because of that. And it's just like...
Oh yes, because the Wii famously didn't have enough Mario games.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Wario's a better protagonist anyway.
I'm not willing to fight you on that. That's probably correct.
More personality, and I love the fact that he's not quite invincible, but he gets different gameplays by just abusing him, almost. Warrior Land, Shake It / the Shake Dimension, depending on where you lived. I will also say one of my favourite things about this game is one of the adverts they came out with it for YouTube.
Oh, the YouTube page thing, right?
Yeah, so you can't view it anymore, I don't think, because it requires Flash.
Yeah.
But essentially, it was an advert where you clicked on the YouTube link and you saw the video, but the gimmick of the game is that Warrior can smash the ground and create a bit of a quake. But on that YouTube video, every time he did it, things on the page, on the UI, would start falling off and breaking apart. And just like by the end of it, everything was just on a pile on the bottom of your screen, and the video was just about hanging on by a thread.
Remember when the internet was fun?
Yeah, I know. But no, this is genuinely a soundtrack. I would say it doesn't matter if you've never played the game. Listen to the soundtrack; it's brilliant. So yeah, Warrior Land, Shake It / Shake Dimension is my number 3. Viper.
Okay then. So my one might be familiar to the Radio Sega audience more than anyone else. I might be throwing one out of left field a little bit for others who might have no idea what I'm talking about, and that's fair. But maybe it'll be relevant again in a few months because the game's not been re-released since the PS3, but is due one in 2025. They've gone kind of silent about when it's going to get re-released. But my game of choice here for number 3, and this was one that just came immediately to mind, no thought whatsoever. Another recent favourite, because I only discovered it a few years ago, but Memorican has been cursed. And originally started off as, of all things, a Naomi arcade title, which is the hardware that's comparable to the Dreamcast. Yes, exactly. There you go.
I did an entire episode on this.
Which you, you should listen to, of course.
Plug. Which, of course, you should listen to.
And I did an entire episode. In fact, I did 2 on this game. If you'd like to hear more of its music after a potential teaser or whatever during the episode, but it's notable for being a Naomi game in... Well, if you know anything about the Dreamcast, it died a long time ago, so it was, 2009? 2008? No, 2007, I think-ish, for this game. So very, very long after both the Dreamcast and the Naomi became irrelevant. So to give you a perspective, it was then on the 360 and PS3, just to prove to you how irrelevant this arcade hardware was when this game came out. And for some reason, they decided to give it instead of the CD audio that they could have had because of the hardware, they gave it this really cool chiptune soundtrack. And that's mainly what the game, for a lot of people, becomes memorable from, because otherwise it's a pretty good shoot-'em-up, but nothing that's not been done by other games before. But where it really excels is its beloved soundtrack. And I'm specifically talking about the Naomi version here, because one of the cool things they did is every time they re-released it, they actually gave it a new soundtrack. So I don't know if that tradition's going to continue into 2025 with the Switch, PS5, Xbox Series, and PC. They've said it's going to be on. So maybe we'll hear another one again. But originally, when it came to the Xbox 360, it was part of an exclusive deal in Japan. So it got its own arranged version, and then again, once it escaped and went to PS3, it got a different arranged version. But although both of those are great, they use real instrumentation and things like that, or at least sequenced instrumentation, whereas it's purely not entirely bleeps and bloops. Obviously, it's not coming from a real chip, but at least they sample some, I don't know what soundboard exactly, but something or the other to make it sound really sharp. And I've got a lot of love for it. I couldn't really pick out a favourite track because there's a lot of good ones, and like we were talking about with Mega Man earlier, a lot of my memories of it interconnect. With Mega Man Zero, it interconnects with both the arranged versions, and like they've also done arranged CDs, which have their own sorts of versions on them as well. So a lot of my memories go back and forth between the slightly up-resed versions and the original versions as well. But if I had to pick which one barely eked it out, it would be those original chiptune mixes. But yeah, otherwise the game, as I say, is perfectly okay, but it's really carried by a fantastic soundtrack, and one I'd recommend seeking out if you've never heard of the game before, like most people. So I imagine not too many people have too much to say about it, even in the chat room after the fact, but I always thought it was worth mentioning, at least to me, because it's left its mark on my sort of listening habits and taste and all that in the last couple of years.
It's all good. Hopefully, if they do get this re-release version, maybe it'll include all the soundtracks.
I think the PS3 one had the option between all 3, so as long as they keep that, then that's the best of all worlds, and then maybe a 4th if they're feeling so daring. Who knows?
Yeah, why not make a new version just because then you can sell another soundtrack CD.
And this soundtrack CD as well, they did one for every single release of the game. They always had a special edition with a soundtrack for the console releases, so I'd take one with all of them on at once, please. That would be perfect, thank you.
He would also like the moon on a stick.
Yes, this isn't too difficult, right? I'm asking reasonable things of companies, I think.
We'll see what we can do about dragging the moon from the Earth's orbit.
Well, there's now like movements to suggest that Skies of Arcadia might be getting a re-release or a sequel, so, impossible things might be happening.
Yeah, at the time of recording, that is very recent news, but I'm not sure how much you should hold your breath on that other than just Sega's making sure they keep their IP IPs under their belts.
But you never know.
I mean, as in a
probably
previous
do,
episode of LMC Cast, it was 2 of our top 1. Please, as much as we'd like a remake, we'll just take a port.
Yeah.
Like, seriously. Okie doke. Skyblaze.
So this is another quite tricky one. Because I wanted a Sonic Adventure in there, but one or two. And
Down to your style preferences, I would say.
yeah, and grateful my husband persuaded me to pick Sonic Adventure 2.
I wonder why.
It is a complete mystery. We shall never know. But yeah, the thing I said about, I did this with both of the Sonic Adventures, but when I heard the tunes played on the start screen, and I just reached over and restarted my Dreamcast so I could hear it again. Because obviously back then it wasn't that easy to get hold of soundtracks for games. I mean, the internet was still in its infancy, and unless you lived in Japan, it was really hard to get hold of game soundtracks. So yeah, you would just listen to it in the game, and I did a lot, and I may have played both of those games quite a lot.
That's fair.
Yeah. But there's just something about... I mean, I'm a big fan of rock and metal anyway, but something about the tone and style of those games really suits that kind of slightly jangly rock guitar sound. Just that kind of energy in it. I mean, not just the vocal themes, but also things like the theme from Metal Harbor. On Prison Island, and and especially Escape from the City. Escape from the City is just such a good song. And again, when I'm DJing, nearly always gets requested. There's that and Live and Learn nearly always requested.
That makes sense.
I am very rarely at an event where somebody doesn't request one of those.
I think one of the things I really like about Sonic Adventure 2 over Sonic Adventure 1, though, is the fact that almost each character has their own style of music that just permeates through all their levels and their main theme.
Yeah, I agree. It's a really nice kind of touch that gives it it adds an extra dimension to the characters, I feel.
Yeah.
What else was I going to say? I have lost my train of thought. Train of thought has derailed. Train of thought was derailed at Station Square.
Like, I definitely prefer the vocal tracks in 2 to 1, personally. I like Knuckles' theme from 2 is by far my favourite of both of Knuckles' ones. There are definitely some tracks in Sonic Adventure 1 I really like. I'm trying to think what the final Eggman level's called.
Final Egg?
That's probably it.
And then you've got a couple tracks within Final Egg just to make things more confusing.
Well, I think that's the other thing is, like, they did a good job of making each area have a theme in that. But obviously characters, the themes were for the areas, not for the levels. So characters would share themes despite them having quite different gameplay, almost.
Yeah.
Whereas the thing with Adventure 2 was, because every level was individual to a character, they could very much mould the soundtrack to those levels much better.
We also had some pretty epic villain themes, because there's Throw It All Away and EGGMAN, which are both fantastic. I mean, there's a reason why when the Sonic 3 movie was announced and Shadow was going to be in it, and across the entire internet everyone was like, Live and Learn must be in this or we riot.
Yeah, that's true. Although I will say I'm not massively impressed by the version of Live and Learn in it.
I thought it was quite good. I thought it blended
okay.
quite nicely with the rest of the theme and tone and the music style of the film.
Although
I don't know if it's something I would listen to in isolation, but it was still...
Yeah, I think that was the issue.
That's the Sonic film soundtracks in a nutshell, I think, though.
It was weird, though, because I remember looking through all of the soundtracks, all of the stuff they borrowed from the game soundtrack-wise in the credits, and was like, I don't remember hearing that.
Yeah, apparently Escape from the City's in there somewhere. I'm like,
Yep.
where?
It's like very subtle little bits here and there. They'll just like slip into an otherwise completely different composition or whatever, I think.
Yeah. But I think that
makes
also
sense.
shows. I think it shows the impact of how much SA2's music really did have on the series. I mean, heck, we've had how many more remixes of Escape from the City since?
Some.
At
In
least,
the games, not many, honestly. Like,
at least two. You got two from Generations.
Oh yeah, that's true. You get way more on the albums, weirdly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, we talked about Persona 5 earlier. You've got the Persona 5 vocalist doing one exclusively for a 30th anniversary album, for example. And Shadow Generations just had one on its soundtrack, I believe, that wasn't actually in the main game.
I think it is, but it's used as part of a cutscene. You don't hear the whole thing.
Oh, is it? I didn't even realise that.
I think. Don't quote me on that one. I'm pretty sure it's like when Shadow meets Sonic. I think there's a bit of a snippet from it from there,
okay.
and then it goes into the battle theme that you're used to. But because I'm guessing they composed the whole thing and then didn't use much of it, was my guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. I mean, this is definitely like, I wanted this soundtrack so bad that the copy I have is a pirated one, but I didn't care because it meant
the same one.
I just wanted the music. I didn't care.
Is it the one?
Younger then.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was a lot younger then, though. So.
Is it the one that comes with all the really cool posters and that is actually very impressive for a pirate?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, same one then.
But yeah, sorry, Skyblaze, we took over your slot.
That's alright. You all made very good points. But yeah, it is such an iconic soundtrack with so many incredibly iconic and instantly recognisable tracks. And has kind of dictated the way that soundtracks in the wider Sonic franchise has worked out going forward right to this day.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, that is my number 3 pick.
Excellent. Well, let's keep on the Sonic train then, because my number 2 is the Sonic soundtrack. But I have thankfully picked a different one, so no repeats here. Anyone want to guess which one it is?
Chronicles.
No, somewhat thankfully and unfortunately not, because A, I don't have that soundtrack, and B, I don't think I want to make people's ears bleed. Such a waste of
Well,
potential.
my second place choice was Sonic 3, which was my favourite Sonic.
It's a good shout, and I really do love the remix they did for Smash Bros. But no, mine is the one that most people usually go, "Oh yeah, it did have a soundtrack." It's a shame we never got to hear more than one piece in some of the levels, though, because it repeats so often. I think
Sonic
Viper's
CD?
got it. No.
Oh.
I mean, I want to be sure, but go
No,
ahead, I guess.
Go for the guess.
No, you said One Piece, so I immediately assumed Sonic and the Secret Rings.
No, but I do quite enjoy the music. No, if I said the Werehog theme,
Oh, yeah.
Sonic Unleashed is genuinely my favourite soundtrack. It's the one that I definitely have the most tracks on my phone from the Sonic series that I play. And that does include the Werehog theme, because I quite like it.
And you
I
can
do
listen to
agree.
more than 2 minutes of it when you actually play it on your own time.
Yeah, it's got a lovely drum solo like in the middle of it as well.
Yeah, it's like 6 minutes, isn't it? And you never hear more than about 2 minutes maximum, I think, of the game. Mostly just 30-second snippets.
Yeah, unless you're like really bad at the combat. But I think the bigger complaint, and I do agree with the complaint, is that a lot of the night levels you don't get to hear the full pieces of those because you're interrupted by the Werehog theme, battle theme so much. But those pieces are just universally beautiful, in my opinion, across the board.
Yeah.
Jungle Joyride is my favourite by far, but Dragon Road is lovely.
Shamar Knight is just...
Yeah.
What's the actual name of the stage? I can't remember, but that's just incredible.
Arid Sands?
Yes, that
Yes.
sax lives in my head rent-free.
Yeah, I don't blame you. But the daytime tracks aren't a slouch either. Again, Jungle Joyride it's different and interesting. Dragon Road is lovely, and then you've got the city themes, which are just nice and relaxed. It's all just really good music, and this is one of those ones where it's like, I mean, I quite liked Unleashed. I didn't think it was as bad as people made it out to be, and I also didn't find the final level as difficult as anyone else for some reason. To the point where I think I was the second person to 100% get 100 gamer score in the world. For
Oh,
it.
nice.
Sadly, I was beaten out by someone who's far more dedicated than me in America. Probably who didn't have to go to uni every day, but
Always the way.
yeah. Incidentally, I actually really love Eggman Land's tunes as well.
Yeah.
And I wish there was like a better remix where it mixes them both together a bit better. Yeah, there's loads of great tracks in this one, but I think you don't really get to appreciate it until you hear... I mean, admittedly, the soundtrack is technically called Sonic World Adventure because it's the Japanese name. But again, this one I did get a proper copy for. It's got a lovely box to it. Yeah. This is one of those ones where I think, honestly, you could just buy the soundtrack and enjoy it. And interestingly, I don't know why, but randomly, recently, YouTube has been recommending me a retired opera singer. And he has been like asking, he's like, okay, convince me video game music is good. And he has fallen in love with the Sonic the Hedgehog series. And Unleashed is, at the moment, he loves some of the Unleashed pieces, and he does a really nice job like explaining, how the cadence and melodies through them work and why he loves those kind of things. Incidentally, although I think his favourite soundtracks are Colours. I can't remember the other ones off the top of my head. But it's been really fascinating to watch. Just like his big comment was, I don't understand how you can have a single series that has never repeated almost like two different styles of music between video games.
Yeah.
Somehow it is managed.
Yeah. And it is one of the things I really like about the Sonic series. Is like, it's one of the things I really love about Sonic over Mario is Sonic doesn't just stick to a tried and true formula every time. But because of that, it also means it mixes up the music every time as well, to fit those new things. And actually, you know, I don't think there's a Sonic soundtrack I dislike particularly. Like, I still quite like the Sonic 06 one.
Sonic 06 has got some bangers in it. The only
yeah.
Sonic soundtrack I can think of that I actively dislike is Chronicles, but that's because it's bit crushed to buggery.
Yeah. Some of the 8-bit one, I like some of the 8-bit ones. Sonic Blast was a bit. No, was it Sonic Blast?
The Donkey Kong Country one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sonic Blast.
Yeah, that one's meh. But incidentally, special mention: Labyrinth Zone from Sonic 1 on the Master System.
Ooh,
I
what a
love
song.
that track, and I really wish more people would remix it. Shout out to Little Boulder, has an amazing remix of that theme, but I want a more heavy metal one. But yeah, Sonic Unleashed. I'm going to make you listen to the Werehog soundtrack, Werehog Battle one, because I think, while I'm sure there are people that will be traumatized by it, I do think it's still a really good track on its own. And hopefully now, after many years of you not playing the game, it doesn't give you PTSD. But I'm probably going to play Jungle Drill as well.
But the reason I never got into the Unleashed soundtrack is because it was interrupted every 5 minutes by that battle theme, which I didn't think was that good. And the rest of the soundtrack was much nicer. And I was like, why can I not mod this game so it would just not play the battle theme? That would be great.
I agree that I think they should have reserved the Werehog Battle theme for only like mini bosses.
Yeah, I agree
'cause
with you. It would have flowed a lot better, I think.
Yeah.
Because the weird thing is you do have like a mini boss encounter theme, so you could have just not composed that one and just shoved the Werehog Battle theme into the mini boss.
I think
thing.
you have that one for like the end of the level, and just have the Werehog Battle theme for like any big monsters in the middle of the levels.
Yeah, actually that makes sense.
Yeah. But the thing is, I love the Werehog Battle theme because I love that kind of jazz. To be fair, I love most kinds of music because I studied music for 3 years. And there's only kind of one type of music I don't like, which is the most common one you'll tend to find on the radio, manufactured pop. Yeah, because it has such a predictable set of stats to it. But yeah, Sonic Unleashed, my number 2. Don't care if you hate it. That's my favourite Sega Sonic soundtrack.
Deal with it.
Viper, you're number 2.
Sure, and I'm continuing on my trend of talking about game soundtracks that are slightly too obscure for people to really have anything to say about them. So, let's continue with that. And a soundtrack that my my main anecdote about is I have a huge CD selection. Like Earth has, I like to get some of these game soundtracks, even if they were only released in Japan and a bit difficult to track down over here. And Because of that, every now and then I post a picture of it online, and the resounding takeaway from posting a picture of my shelf once with this CD front and center was, that's a game, why is it in the soundtrack section? And that's because I couldn't care less about the game personally. It's not one of my favorites in its series, but the soundtrack really stands out to me, and because it's of a certain vintage, it means it's Red Book, so therefore the disc serves more as a soundtrack to me than it does as a game. And that game is Afterburner 3, specifically the Japanese version for the Mega CD.
Now that's a decent choice, I think. I know this soundtrack.
It's kind of worth clarifying, because if you know Afterburner 3 internationally, it's very standard Afterburner fare, and it's still pretty good. I think they made the decision at some point, people won't know the tracks on the Japanese version, so we'll include the iconic ones. So you get all your standard Final Takeoff, Afterburner, etc. on the international version. Whereas, because 3 is effectively, for all intents and purposes, a home port of Strike Fighter, you actually get remixes of these really otherwise short and uninteresting Strike Fighter tracks, in my opinion anyway. You get full 90s Red Book era compositions, and that's almost got its own level of sound to it. If you've ever gone and listened to a Mega CD game or a Saturn game outside of gameplay, you kind of know what I mean. It's just got that feeling that the next generation kind of lost again to it. But there's a lot of you talked about smooth jazz, not quite jazz, but there's a lot of easy listening on here as well, and there's some good dance anthems and stuff like that. And I just tend to really like it, to the point where, as I said, I got the game exclusively to have the soundtrack CD, because whereas the Western soundtracks found its ways onto the Afterburner box that they did for whatever anniversary it was and things like that, and you can listen to digitally, there's no such re-release for the original soundtrack here. So your option is to track it down on CD, which is in turn tracking down a copy of the game, which I think I played once. For the most part, it's exclusively there for the 10 tracks that happen to be on it. So I really like that one. Like I say, it's one that most people probably won't be able to comment on, because even if you played the game, you've probably not gone out of your way to play this version of the game or whatever. But I like it. It's a favourite of mine for sure, and I'm continuing the trend, as I say, of not knowing what to say about it, and therefore not being able to be backed up on it, because I should have gone with something a bit more mainstream.
This is your personal preferences.
Yeah, and I also want to say there's a weird thing with Mega CD games where it's the gameplay is either fine or not that great, but it has a really beautiful soundtrack. I mean,
yeah.
There's a bunch of examples of this. I've used a few in my show where it's I've played this game on emulation, it isn't that great, but holy hell, the soundtrack.
I mean, another one that comes to mind for me like that definitely is Wild Woody as well. The Adventures of Batman and Robin, I think, is a really good one from memory.
The Spider-Man game as well.
Yeah.
We all know the specific track that it lives rent-free in every Radio Sega's listener's head.
But could we name any of the others? I actually don't think I could.
But the one that I was specifically thinking of is the Echo the Dolphin 1 and 2, the Mega CD versions of Echo the Dolphin.
Yeah, because they never really get the love compared to the Mega Drive versions, from what I feel like, but they're really good compositions.
They're beautiful. Spencer Nilsson absolutely knocked it out of the park. I've got a remastered standalone version of I think it's specific tracks from 1 and 2, and it's called Sounds of Time, and it's absolutely gorgeous. I got it off Spencer Nilsson's own website. I do this a lot, you may have noticed.
The originals were gorgeous anyway, so
yes.
I can imagine with a CD quality audio from the Mega CD, it would have just been beautiful.
They are. They're very much beautiful. But and what you were saying, Viper, about later generations losing that, they just kind of went. A lot of games went in that kind of very generic kind of orchestral movie style soundtrack, and I think gaming audio in general lost a lot by doing that. Yeah,
for sure. There's also on a technical level, there's this, people always love the crackles on vinyl or whatever. There's this very, very warm odd feeling that comes out of like these early CD masters and things like that. Obviously not early for actual CD, but for games they were really getting used to it.
I could actually go into detail about why that is, but I'm not going to be boring. So if you are interested in that sort of crap, then message me and I will bore you to tears on the topic of dynamic range.
Yeah.
Or we'll just do another show about it later down the line.
The 3-hour special.
Yay!
Only 3.
Fine. As long as can fit on a CD, just for you guys.
Interestingly, I found out the other day that Sonic Paradox actually did a version of some of their early Sonic shorts that you could burn onto a physical CD-ROM
Really?
to run
I
on
didn't know
Windows
this.
95.
That's incredible.
That's
It's still
dedication, that.
It's still on Newgrounds, available to download.
Wow.
I'm looking this up after the show.
Splendid.
Okay, Skyblaze, you're number 2.
Right, we're back with Atlas again, and we are in fact back with the Persona series. So, the game that made an entire generation of people appreciate jazz. I mean, the memes about Persona 5, this sounds like the Persona 5 soundtrack, have been done to death, but the fact that it's made so many people appreciate an entire genre of music that they might not have necessarily even looked at, I think that says something.
For sure, yeah.
And also, Rivers in the Desert has a bass line that is pure filth.
Oh, yeah, no, I love that.
Is
That's
porn.
one of my favourite tracks. Yeah.
And again, it's one that I always seem to get requested whenever I'm DJing at conventions because it's fucking amazing. But also, like, the way that the music matches itself to what's going on in the game. And stuff like Tokyo Daylight, which is just a really lovely, kind of very chilled out, kind of lo-fi style music track. Brilliant. The vocal themes obviously are all absolutely superb. I'm not quite as fond of Takeover from Royal as I am for things like Life Will Change and Last Surprise from the original, but it's still a great track.
Did Royal change those?
Not quite. The annoying thing is with it's, how would you describe it? It's the ambush theme.
It's the ambush
takeover.
theme, yeah.
But
Okay.
if you're playing on a certain difficulty, it's probably the only theme you're gonna hit. You're not gonna not ambush the enemies if you're on a low enough difficulty, basically.
Yeah. But also, if you on higher difficulties, if you mess up an ambush, then you're probably gonna die.
True.
Thankfully, I think I only played it on normal difficulty when I originally played it.
But even the kind of non-vocal tracks, they are brilliantly composed and arranged to fit the scene that they are in. Because you know instantly what's gonna, without even looking at the screen, you know what's happening if you hear a certain type of music.
Yeah, one of my favourites for that is I can't remember what the track's called, but it's the one that plays when someone's persona's awakening. And for me, the most memorable one is when Queen gets their persona.
Yeah, and she smashes the concrete with her foot. It's like, okay. And you can kind of understand where it's like, I am not pissing her off. She will rip off my arm.
Yep.
It's like, yep. But again, it gives that kind of sense of what the characters are like and what their life is like by giving these subtle musical cues. And also, there's like ridiculous things like there's when you go into what they call a convenience store, and it has this ridiculous kind of like very janky sounding music, and it's hilarious. And the chiptune version of the Tanaka's Commodities that plays when you repair the laptop, and it's just little touches like that. And the chiptune like version of you repair an old console, and it's like implied to be a kind of Famicom type thing, and all the games have got their own themes in kind of chiptune style, and I was like, I love that. That's brilliant. So it's like, you know, for some things they went a lot harder than they had to, but I really like that they did that.
No, this is definitely... I mean, I think this is another soundtrack I own physically. I know I definitely own a digital copy, but I think I bought a physical copy as well.
I have the original.
I love it.
I have the original and Royal physically, and I've got the collector's version. Also, Morgana, my love.
Yeah, I'm not quite that bad. I think I only have the original, so because I haven't played Royal yet, I need to do that.
So just looking up what the name of some of the there's one of the games which is called Punch Ouch. It's like okay.
Descriptive.
Yep.
Nah, that's a great choice. I will admit, I think I would struggle between 4 and 5. I'd probably lean towards 5 just because it's fresher in my memory than 4. Though I definitely remember 4 having some absolute bangers as well. Or I should say 4 golden, because I've never played the original.
4 absolutely has some bangers in it. It's just... I'm slightly biased because I like the gameplay of 5 a bit more. Just because there's a lot more kind of quality of life improvements.
Definitely.
Yeah, so it's... And that just kind of tips it over the edge. But yeah, there's some brilliant tracks in 4 as well. Basically, Atlas do soundtracks quite well, is what we're getting at here.
Sonic and Atlas, they're the 2 things we've universally agreed on, and somewhat Mega Man.
Yeah, sorry, I don't have an Atlas one in my list because I considered that Sega.
Yeah, it works. For all intents and purposes at this point.
Sort of, kind of.
Maybe.
And I've got to make my decision. This time it could be my moment. Is this a mirage or a chance to fulfill my mission? A river in a dry land, the left is in a lost end, a heartbeat for a demon, a oasis in a strange land. I'm giving the balance, but I'm standing on razor's edge now. What quick, all my life is over. One strike just a pain, then I'm out of his field of vision. Don't ask when I'm ready, but I'm ready to strike him down now. I just saw the new stars, there's no time for indecision. To the bosses of greed and fear. Don't ask when I'm ready, but I'm ready to take them down now. The time for a new start is constantly drawing nearer.
Alright, well, let's round this off. My number one. So, actually, there was a rule we didn't mention, which was we couldn't have soundtracks that were basically compilations of existing songs. So, there's your popular soundtrack method like EA does, which is a shame because actually Need for Speed Underground introduced me to many songs that I would never have listened to normally. And we also kind of excluded games that were collections of existing soundtracks. So I kind of said Smash Bros was a no because it does have some original themes, but it's majority other songs and stuff like Final Fantasy Theatrhythm. And also it excludes stuff like Guitar Hero, which, let's be honest, has a great soundtrack because it has to.
It's kind of the whole point of it, yeah.
Yeah. Although, again, I found out a few more favourite songs. I never thought I would like Black Eyed Peas, I think it was, until I played... No, Paramore, sorry. Until I played Misery Business, which has one of the best bass lines I've ever heard in a song. Genuinely. However, my number one is a music game. But it has a completely original soundtrack. And admittedly, the base version of the game has at least 3 variations of that soundtrack you can play. One for all 3 of the main characters. The game is done so well that it got a Nintendo exclusive spin-off and is having a sequel coming out. I think Viper's figured out what it is.
Yes.
And the original idea of the game, you could play the entire game with a dance map. But it's not a DDR game. Welcome to Crypt of the Necrodancer. This is like, I could have picked a few music rhythm games. One that did come up was a Hi-Fi Rush, which although it does have some licensed tracks in, there are also alternate streamer friendly versions, which some people think is better. There was BPM Bullets Per Minute, which also has another soundtrack and did come close. But a thing I like about Crypt of the Necrodancer is, first of all, the bass soundtrack is great and it's got a nice set of rhythm and a nice set of feelings for each kind of environment, which works really well. And you have 2 variations which have an interesting way of interacting in the game, in which when you get closer to the source of the second variation, it kind of gradually increases the volume on it, which is the shopkeeper version, where the shopkeeper will sing along to the soundtrack in every bass level. It's great because it's like, if you just hear about the corner of your eye, corner of your ear is like, oh, shopkeeper's nearby. Which direction? And the closer you get to him, the louder it is, even if you can't see the shop. It's a really great little feature.
Yeah, that's an incredible mechanic.
Yeah. But yeah, basically you have two variations of the song because of it. You have the normal version and the version with the shopkeeper. I say the shopkeeper sings. He doesn't say any lyrics. He's just going, ah, throughout the entire thing. But on top of that, one of the things I really like is the boss battles, because the boss battles are all based off musical themes. For instance, guess what kind of music King Konga is based on?
Is it bongos?
No, it's the Konga.
Oh, that's
Specifically, well, no, specifically, because what does a Konga entail?
Long
a
chain
long
of people.
line.
But what do you do on the 8th beat?
Kick.
Yeah. So in the King Konga battle, you have to stop on the 8th beat.
Ah.
Oh.
It's a really well done mechanic, and it's just like fits in with the theme. And then you have the other ones, which are Deep Blues, which is oddly a chess set, but again is in the blue. It is in a blues style. You have Death Battle. Guess what he's in. I think he's one of the few with voice acting. One of the DLC bosses were added, which is Fortissimo. And he's a rapper, and I love that song. That's the only one with actual lyrics in it. Again, if once you defeat him, the lyrics stop immediately. So, I love that song, but sadly that's not in the base game. Although, again, all the DLC stuff had additional music that was original. It's still very good. But my favourite track is Deep Sea Bass. Or sorry, it should be Deep Sea Bass, I suppose. But it's just like, it's a weird octopus musical instrument monster. So the head of it is a electric bass guitar, but he's got like cellos for some of his arms, trombones for some of his arms, and they come and attack you separately. And yeah, it's so good. But what's even better about it is, as I said, you get 3 variations of the soundtrack. So the original soundtrack, which is by Demi Blavatsky, I think, which is just it's just good bass music for the game. And then the second soundtrack is, I think, called the Melody Mixes. I can't remember who does it off the top of my head, but it's probably my favourite. It's kind of like, the best way I can describe it is kind of electronic funk, but kind of the image they have for the soundtrack is a keytar. That just gives you an idea of how it. But that's my favourite variation of the soundtracks. The final variation, I think, that came with the base game was by Family Jewels, and it's a electric guitar remix. And that's for the hardest character, which is the character where if you get hit once, you immediately die, and if you miss a beat, you immediately die.
Isn't there a version that's by Chipzel?
Yes, I'm looking at the list right now.
Yeah, this is the thing.
She performed it when I was on the bill with her at Steel City Chip.
Nice, I'm slightly jealous of that. So there's multiple different versions that have been added as DLC by various famous game composers, etc. There's one by a guy, I'm forgetting the name, but he did the soundtrack for Shovel Knight.
Jake Kaufman, right?
Jake Kaufman, that's correct, yeah. That's actually probably that's a chiptune version. That's probably my least favourite. I'll admit I'm not as big a fan of chiptune stuff when it's a case of it's being done for the sake of making it sound old. But it's still a good remix. Interestingly, they also added a remix. I think this was a free one by Spike Chunsoft's staff.
Oh, I didn't even know that. That's really cool.
Yeah. So, but
I mean,
now,
this game is in general.
It's remixes of their games, but they did add the ability to play as Monokuma.
Wow. Okay.
Great.
And Junko Enoshima, I think, as well. But yeah, I mean, it's a music game. The music has to be good. It definitely is. I wanted to include one kind of game where it's just the reason the music's good is because it has to be good because it's essentially part of the game. So my pick is Crypt of the Necrodancer. Yes, there's plenty of other great ones that have come out, Again, recommendations: BPM bullets per minute, Hi-Fi Rush is great. What was the other one? Hellsinger, I think it's called. That one, though, I think is predominantly licensed tracks, but I don't remember. So
yeah, it sounds about right. I've not played it, but I feel like I remember it being mostly licensed stuff when I saw it.
I haven't played it, but it's on I own it, and it's on my to-do list. But honestly, I started playing Crypto Necrodancer in really early access, and I've loved it since. Have I completed it? God, no. You try playing with Coda, which is, hey, I have the gimmick of every other character, including the one that dies in one shit. Yeah. So, that's not happening. But yeah, Crypto Necrodancer is my number one, and genuinely, pick your favourite version of the soundtrack and enjoy.
My motto is avarice. With loot I get so amorous. For gold I am ravenous. Bombastic, my statements sarcastic, my flow's pyroclastic, my legend's dynastic. Yeah, when I rise like Lazarus, my odor is always hazardous. Your skill is at best average, there's no way you can handle this. Notice your moves are atrocious, so quote this. Hopeless is what you are, now that I'm what you start. I'm voice like thunder, I leave the earth on the sun, so don't make a blunder, you be 6 feet under. You better hide under covers, I do what I want. Your feelings get hurt, step up girl, you better stay alert, or you'll be napping up in that dirt. Fork is a mullet, I'm putting in the work. I hope you like this room, cause now it will be your tomb. All your plans I will ruin if you don't play to my tune. I thought you were gonna dig deep. You sure didn't, must be kidding. Now you can't make a peep. Fortissimo in these streets, yeah. Pause for the call, from the windows to the walls. See, victory is not yours. I came for the roars of applause, and you're the main cause. Yeah. Victory's mine. unholy moly, underworld bully. I will crush those who oppose me, just like Mummy told me. My ambitions are cavernous, my motto is avarice. With loot I get so amorous, for gold I am ravenous. Is bombastic, my statements sarcastic, my flow's pyroclastic, my legend's dynastic. Yeah, when I rise like Lazarus, my odor is always hazardous. Your skill is at best average, there's no way you can handle this. Notice your moves are atrocious, so quote this. Hopeless is what you are, now doubt out what you start. My voice like thunder, I leave the earth on the sun, so don't make a blunder, you be 6 feet under. You better hide under covers, I do what I want. Your feelings get hurt, step up girl, you better stay alert, or you'll be napping up in that dirt. Fork is a mullet, I'm putting in the work. I hope you like this room, cause now it will be your tomb. All your plans I will ruin if you don't play to my tune. I thought you were gonna dig deep. You sure didn't, must be kidding. Now you can't make a peep. Fortissimo in these streets, yeah. Pause for the call, from the windows to the walls. See, the ring is not yours. I came for the roars of applause, and you're the main course. Yeah. Figurine's mine. Holy moly, underworld bully. I will crush those who oppose me, just like Mummy told me. My ambitions are cavernous, my motto is avarice. With loot I get so amorous, for gold I am ravenous.
So, yeah, Viper, you're number one?
Yeah, well, it's funny you mention Jake Kaufman's soundtrack being your least favourite, because it'd then be an incredible turnaround to have a Jake Kaufman soundtrack as your favourite. Wouldn't it? So this is really hard. This is like picking between your favourite child for me in at number one, because there's been some stuff I've had to admit. You mentioned your big example was Smash Bros. For like mostly taken from other games kind of stuff.
Yeah, it was kind of one of those things where it's like, I've heard plenty of people say like the best video game soundtrack is Smash Bros. Because it's the best music of all video gaming.
Yeah.
Like, that's fair, but also a little bit cheating.
See, whereas for me, even if I removed that stuff and just talked about like the menus and stuff like that, personally for me, Super Smash Bros. Brawl, for example, would have been on this list, even just to the original stuff.
And that's fair. It does have original music. I feel like there's not enough of it to constitute a full soundtrack.
Yes, exactly, and that's why I'm happy to respect the rules, and there's a couple other big ones there. But the rule that screwed me the most is no two picks from the same franchise, because in my head, these are just one big soundtrack. So you made me pick between Mighty Switch Force 1 and Mighty Switch Force 2.
Oh, that's a good pick, though.
So in at number 1 comes Mighty Switch Force 2, which was so difficult. This was, more than anything else on the list, this was what I pondered the most. More than, like, just, should I put this on, should I not? It's, which one of the two do I go for as my favourite?
To be fair, I'm not saying all of Jake Kaufman's music is bad. I really enjoyed, I believe he did the Shantae soundtracks.
Yes,
and
except the most recent one, for some reason.
Yes, but I actually prefer the older titles.
Yeah, which is also perfectly valid.
I prefer the more Arabian styles of the originals.
Yeah.
But, actually, the Mighty Switch Force music is a pleasure to listen to as well. I am a fan.
This is one of those games for me that I discovered first from the music and then worked backwards. Because I knew of Shantae, I definitely did not know of Mighty Switch Force though. So that was exclusively through, I said JKK, I think it's vert.bandcamp.com. Basically all of his stuff, from what I know, is mostly available free there. As long as it's not a licensed game, which he's done some good licensed game soundtracks as well, which are unfortunately not allowed to be there. But because of that, because this was free, I was like, well, we'll download it anyway. You're not losing anything on giving it a punt. At the time, I didn't have access to any streaming services or anything, but even now, for some reason, this still isn't on there, so it's a pretty good alternative if you want to give it a listen. But since then, I've gone on to buy the game on pretty much everything, buy the CD version through Limited Run, and also buy the vinyl edition they did, because there's not really any like full retail release they've done of this music. If they did that, I'd buy it again. That's how much I'm willing to support this one. But the game itself is also really fun too, but to me it's so eclipsed by its soundtrack. I'll still pour out love for the game itself too, and have done on many occasions, but it's like it's standing on the shoulder of giants effectively, even though the game itself should be the thing in the spotlight. So yeah, Mighty Switch Force 2 being a sequel to the first game, you'd think... We've talked about Sonic Adventure 2 having a very different musical styling, but for the most part it effectively follows the formula set up by the first one, which is why I really struggle to differentiate them. But 2 generally, stylistically, between tracks, sounds a bit more different, so that was what tipped me over the edge. There's a bit more like... Whereas all the tracks can reasonably blend together in the first game, which is entirely the point, because the levels are all very similar in like background art and geometry and stuff as well. The second game has way more variety in like skyboxes and locations and things, so the tracks are made to sound a bit more standalone to each other, and therefore I think that really helps them stand out a tiny bit more. But still, not to discredit the first one at all, they're meant to kind of blend in together as to continue the atmosphere through the levels rather than change the atmosphere each level. Bonus point as well to both soundtracks, because they have, in the games you have these bonus levels which then contacted community artists to make remixes of the base game songs for them, so you also get a second version of each song on the soundtrack as well, which also stand on their own 2 feet because they go in a completely different direction half the time, just sharing the same melody. So leads to like a lot of good stuff, and a lot of like a real spread of not necessarily genre, but certainly like for all staying within almost dance and EDM and that kind of thing, you still get a big variety of types of things to listen to. So really stands out to me on that basis, and also just being a really good game and needing good music, because sometimes it's not hard as nails, so to say, but sometimes you definitely need that extra motivation to get over the puzzle you're solving, or just to get over the hurdle you're kind of facing. So it does exactly that and more to me, and therefore, like I say, music's so good it convinced me to get the game, and hopefully if you listen to it for free off the back of this, then go ahead and get it too. I strongly recommend it, I'd say.
I think I'm definitely going to have to get the soundtrack. I have actually played the games, so and I do enjoy them. I think I originally had them on the DS.
Yeah, I think where the first one stood out for a lot of people was it was a very early eShop title. I think that's where it mostly made its mark. It was like the Switch eShop on the first couple, like 6 months on the 3DS, where there was very little to play, so a lot of people just went, oh, I'll play this, and then yeah, the soundtrack is really what makes it stand out as a result of that.
Unless on the original DS eShop.
Oh, there was a couple of
DSi.
Yeah, you got Mighty Mighty Milky Way and Mighty
I definitely
Flip
had Mighty
Champs.
Milky Way, yeah. But no, yeah, I recommend that as well. I need to listen to that soundtrack, because I don't remember that soundtrack. I really should.
Like I say, the biggest thing to me is that it's available free. Like, not through a YouTube upload, not through a sketchy site. Like, literally, just you can get the full quality FLACs for free off his Bandcamp, and obviously you can chuck some money as well because it's Bandcamp, and Bandcamp Fridays exist and are worth giving money to good soundtracks like these for. And I like having, easy access to both purchase and download these things. So that's like a big point in my book as well. Like Skyblaze said, with being able to like buy soundtracks directly from the composer, that's something in a lot of my cases you can't really do, but at least there's ways and means normally. But this is one where you can give all your money directly to the person who made it, and that's great.
yeah, there's a few soundtracks I really should be picking up from their Bandcamp. I think it's not on my list. It was an honourable mention. Pizza Tower.
Oh
is
yeah.
another one you can get off. I think the original composer's Bandcamp, and yeah, that's just a stunner of a soundtrack anyway.
I wish more people would do that. Hint devs. Indie devs mostly do it, but even big devs, like Sega's the best of the big devs at actually putting things out in a semi-prompt manner, which is why it's nice to do this sort of thing that, you know, you might be listening on here right now on Radio Sega, because it actually makes our lives semi-easy. When a new big game comes out, you can actually, you know, show off and talk about the music, as opposed to going, like I've done with Nintendo on my other show a couple of times, going, well, I'm still waiting to be able to actually talk about this soundtrack because they didn't release it, and, you know, I don't have a way to actually play it for you yet. So it's nice.
Yeah, Square Enix is kind of 50-50 on it, because what they tend to do is they release the soundtrack physically and then give it enough time to go, okay, it's been out physically long enough, now we'll put it out digitally. But what they've done really well recently is they've done a good YouTube archive of a lot of their big soundtracks. My only gripe is that they have released volumes 1, 2, and 4 of one of my favourite soundtracks, but not 3.
No.
And I don't understand why 3's not available.
You know why though? You know where to buy it. You know where to give them money for it instead.
Japan.
Yes.
Although I think it's quite hard to find out there as well now. So. And they've got a 5th one coming out soon. So
They've been quite good about the Final Fantasy XIV soundtracks, but I think that's because Yoshi P and Soken is just kind of breathing down their necks.
yeah, the one I'm thinking of is Final Fantasy Record Keeper.
Yeah.
So it's mostly remixes, but some of them are very, very good. I will say, one interesting thing with the recent 14 soundtracks is they're all on Blu-ray.
Yes.
However, if you insert it into your PS5, it then gives you the option to go, hey, do you want to set up the PS5 as a hotspot and download all of the MP3s from this Blu-ray?
Wait.
Yes.
What? Huh?
Yeah.
That's really cool.
That's why on the PlayStation Store you can buy digital soundtracks.
That's really cool, because so often, I mean, like, a big thing of the 7th gen for me was the ease of ripping soundtracks to your consoles, and you could kind of do that the gen before, but like that was really when it got big, just being able to use it as a CD player. And even now, half the time, I'm like, where's my portable CD player? I don't know, but you know what I do know? I know where my Xbox 360 is, or anything like that, you know? Yeah. So I missed that when I think the Xbox One and Series can play CDs, but the PS4 can't, and Sony made the CD partially, so it kind of baffles me.
Yeah, but no, actually this is a really good way of going, hey, rather than you trying to get a Blu-ray player connected to your PC and then figuring out how to rip it as an MP3, they just go, look, here's a way to just have the soundtrack. You bought it, you should own it. Here's an easy way to download it if you own a PS5.
That's great. I really wish that was more of a thing as well.
It's a really cool way of doing it, and I'm glad they've done it, and hopefully they continue doing that with some of their stuff.
Fingers crossed, anyway. I won't hold my breath, though.
Alright, and finally, Skyblaze, you're number 1.
Nier Automata.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
I love that we both like have a long lead up. Skyblaze just goes, there you go, that's it.
If ever there was a game that has this roller coaster of emotions that is accurately reflected in the soundtrack, it's that one. The Nier Automata soundtrack is one of the soundtracks that I tend to put on when I'm working, because it's a pretty good soundtrack for when you're trying to concentrate, I find. Your mileage may vary. But I find it very conducive towards concentration. Apart from Weight of the World, which makes me cry.
Yeah, fair.
One of the other things I like about the Nier Automata soundtrack is that there's 3 different languages in the soundtrack. English and Japanese, but there's also a conlang, a constructed language, in it. which is kind of implied to be the language of the machines, which is pretty interesting. But it's another one that has, like the aforementioned Weight of the World, that has parts of it that will rip out your heart and stomp on it. Because Yoko Taro wants you to personally suffer. If you've played the game,
true.
you will know what I mean.
I have played the game, so I do know what you mean.
At least the actual true ending isn't like, everyone is dead! Well done! Like the original Gear was.
I didn't get that far. I only finished 2B's story.
You should finish the game. It's
9S early on just pissed me off too much.
Well, he's really broken. You just hack everything to death. But also there's tracks like Birth of the Wish and the rearrangement of Grandma. I really, really love the music for City Ruins. The City Ruins music lives in my head rent-free. And then there's like really weird stuff like End of the Unknown, which is like just this dance track. It's like, what is this doing in here?
I'm trying to remember all these tracks because the ones that I remember off the top of my head are Alien Manifesto, I think it's called.
Alien Manifestation, yes.
Yes, and I've forgotten the name, but it's the one that is also in Final Fantasy XIV when you fight Engels. You know which one I mean.
Yes, I know which one you mean. It might be because
I can't think of the name.
I can't remember.
Yeah. So, fun fact, I did play Nier Automata first, but when they did the Nier Automata crossover in Final Fantasy XIV, I was like, I really enjoyed the soundtrack. I should see if I could just buy the soundtrack. Not realizing I'd already bought the Nier Automata soundtrack already because I enjoyed it in the original game. So it's like, oh, I already own it. Well, let's listen to this again.
It's such a good
it's definitely
soundtrack.
great.
It's such a good soundtrack, though. It's absolutely beautiful. And will just break your heart. And then it has stupid shit like the Emel's shop theme, which he sings. He ride around the map on a scooter and will just sing it off key. And it sounds like he's just making the lyrics up as he goes along. And it's an official part of the soundtrack. It's like, okay. And it will just interrupt the music of whatever's currently playing and be like this slightly off-key singing about like all the bargains he's got. It's hilarious.
I think even like I actually think this is one of the nice things where it's like if you've heard the soundtrack in Final Fantasy XIV, your instinct is to just go and buy the soundtrack for Nier Automata as well. And hopefully that'll get you to try the game. Yeah.
And yes, you should.
Trust me, as lovely as 2B is, there is actual game in there as well.
Yes. Another thing I quite like for the hacking minigames, there's a kind of chiptune version of each of the hacking, a chiptune version of each area for when you're in the hacking minigame in that area. So there's like a City Ruins 8-bit theme and a Birth of the Wish 8-bit theme and an amusement park 8-bit theme. It's like, again, you didn't have to go to that much effort, but they did.
I mean, to be fair, I feel like Yoko Taro, and to be fair, Platinum were the developers for that one as well, weren't they?
I believe they were certainly involved in it, so I believe so.
When do they ever take half measures on their games?
There is that, yeah.
When they release.
Yeah, when they throw it out the back of a speeding lorry at midnight, and like there's five copies, literally. five copies in the entire world.
Let's not also forget this is from a period of time where people were actually still working at Platinum.
And let's just say Yoko Taro hasn't gotten any saner since.
No.
That too.
But yeah, he also he wants you to suffer personally. But he also likes pretty girls in goth dresses, and the fact that he's straight up about this amuses me.
I know, like, I love it.
It's like, what? Why is 2B wearing a short skirt? It's like, I like pretty women in short skirts. What? Like,
It's probably better than trying to mask it, to be fair.
yeah, I respect that. It was like, yeah, this is what I like. It's like, okay. You carry on there with your barely disguised fetish.
Also a Platinum tradition.
Yes! We're looking at
look.
you, Bayonetta!
Hey, I'm looking at Raiden just as much.
Yeah. No lie is
Oh.
detected.
Oh no, actually, it's probably more Jetstream Sam. I think he wears the skin tight outfit more prominently.
I will take your word for that one.
Just watch the cutscenes. That's all you need to see.
So
Don't worry about the gameplay.
I've never actually played. I've seen some cutscenes for some Metal Gear games. I've never actually played one all the way through. I keep being told I ought to.
Okay, I will say Metal Gear Rising, while it is technically connected, nothing like anything else in the Metal Gear series.
Yes. So much so that most of its fan base is generally not intershared with Metal Gear, from what I've noticed as well. It feels like
Okay, well, that's a bit odd, but alright.
a lot of Metal Gear fans are like, well, it doesn't play like Metal Gear, so I'm just gonna stick with my Metal Gear.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one, but it still is a fantastic game in its own right. But yeah, no, Nier Automata's soundtrack is definitely. I mean, yeah, as I said, I went to go and buy the soundtrack, realized I already owned the soundtrack. It's a good sound.
And the fact that they did kind of crib so much of it for the Raid series in Final Fantasy XIV tells you a lot, considering what the general bar for the music in Final Fantasy XIV is.
I don't think they even remixed quite a bit of it. There's a few remixes.
There's some of it that's kind of blended into a what's the word? Medley, but
Yeah,
it's not been significantly rearranged. No.
I think it's only the final bosses in the raids that have mixes to them,
I believe
and
so.
even then, they're not that heavily mixed. But yeah, like for me, the Engels theme is like amazing.
But yeah, go listen to the Nier Automata soundtrack and then play the game. This is your instruction for today.
This is your homework.
Yes, that is correct.
And with that, I think we have finished. Any honourable mentions while we're at it?
Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts was a weird one for me because I was like, I'm not sure whether I should count it as borrowing music or not, because a lot of the level themes are original.
They are, yeah.
But then you have stuff like This Is Halloween and Pirates of the Caribbean. I'm a Pirate, that's it.
Yeah, the Mickey Mouse March, and One Winged Angel turns up in it a couple of times.
That's true. It's actually one of my favourite versions of One Winged Angel, to be fair.
It is pretty good.
Yeah.
But the vast majority of the soundtrack is original.
It is. Oh, I will say though, some of my favourites from that one are oddly some of the remixes they do for the third game.
Oh, interesting.
So for the DLC, all of the Organisation 13 have remixes of the themes where they come from.
Oh, cool.
I think it's called Omperito Lascurius, which is Young's Terranauts theme, is really, really good. But oddly, one of my favourites is the Stitch Summon theme, which is a remix of the Stitch world from Birth by Sleep. Fun fact, all of the summons, other than Wreck-It Ralph, because obviously it was his first appearance in the series, is actually remixes from the battle themes from the worlds they come from.
How cool. They went to a lot of effort for that one.
Yeah, and they're really good remixes. But yeah, Stitch's one, Makawakawa, is one of my favourites. And I love the fact they're giving it a proper Hawaiian name as well. But yeah, Kingdom Hearts was definitely a good shout. Any particular one, or just in general?
My personal one is probably 2. It's because there's a number of. Sanctuary is a great track to start off
I'd agree.
with. I actually prefer Sanctuary to oh god, what's the name of the one for the first one? When you walk away, you don't hear.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to. Simple and
Clean. There we go.
I don't even remember the name for the one from the third game.
Nah. But Sanctuary is great, and there's a bunch of soundtrack tracks. I mean, the music from the Tron level is brilliant.
Yeah.
The kind of the slightly melancholy sound for Twilight Town as well. I mean, it's supposed to be like, here is Roxas having all his happy days before everything's torn away from him. But even in the music, there's kind of a hint that there's something not right here, and I quite like that kind of very subtle foreshadowing.
Yeah, no. As I said, I have the physical copies for Kingdom Hearts. I think I have a pirated copy of Kingdom Hearts 1, the original version of Kingdom Hearts 2, and I have a digital one of Kingdom Hearts 3, which also comes with like some of the mobile game music as well. Because why not?
So I don't have the full soundtrack for Kingdom Hearts 3. I want to get a hold of it at some point, because I've only got a few individual tracks from it.
It's not that expensive digitally. I haven't. The physical version's very expensive. I think it's like £100 off Square Enix's store.
In fairness, I've tried to cut down on the amount of like physical music I'm buying because I don't have anywhere to store it. This is why I've not bought a record. This is why I've not bought a record player.
Yeah, but
It hurts. It's so true.
So it's like Kingdom Hearts 3 and Cross Union soundtrack, and it's like 140 tracks.
Damn.
It's good. But yeah, no, that's a good shout. How about you, Viper? Any honourable mentions you want to go for?
I think I mainly mentioned mine in at number 1. So yeah, Mighty Switch Force 1 and the original stuff of Super Smash Bros. Were all like really come to mind for me. Also at number 5, I was really heavily debating between Mega Man 1 and Kirby's Dream Land, the original Game Boy one, practically for the same reasons. Really small cart space, a lot of contemporaries, very short loops, but it fits a lot of character into a lot of into a very otherwise small and quaint game. I mean, you can finish the whole thing in like 20 minutes, and yet every song just hits incredibly well to me and leaves the lasting memory that not actually a lot of other Kirby games from the same time period really do to me. So that one always stood out as a personal favourite chiptune soundtrack as well. But aside from that, really drawing blanks, but I'm sure any other day I could name like a million, of course, but it's when you actually need to think of them. But they don't come to mind.
F-Zero GX.
Ooh, yeah. One speaking of physical copies, actually picked up kind of recently. I had no idea it existed, and then the next day I bought a copy because I was at a con.
Well, you should probably put it on the Radio Sega server, because the versions we've got on the Radio Sega server are they're clipped.
I'm pretty sure that updated kind of recently.
That's
Yeah, because I
redone,
went to do the exact same thing for the same reason, and then I looked and I was like, wait, this has been updated. That's not right.
Nick has been sneaking around behind our backs. Sneaky Nick.
I'm trying to think of any other big ones I missed, but I mean, there's going to be plenty across the board.
Well, the original Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
fair. For me, the only other Nintendo one that comes to mind is Metroid Prime. I love that soundtrack. Specifically the intro as well, and Federa Drifts I quite like as well. But outside of that, I mean, I have such a big amount of games. One of the things that I did think about, but I only really like a few tracks, and then I don't remember the rest, is Serious Sam. But the Corridor of Death is one of the most iconic tracks from that, and I love it. Disgaea soundtracks have always been great for me as well. Modern Times from the third game, I think, is sorely underappreciated. And Danganronpa's soundtrack is certainly memorable, although they don't change it much between the three games, I will say that. Although I will say they do something very clever with their soundtrack in the third game. There's a theme for like when you do the in-classroom battles, I guess you call them. But what's interesting is, depending on the piece of music that plays, you can tell whether you can do special things like perjury in the middle of that one. And by the different soundtrack that plays. But I did not notice that the first time I played. But yes, I think we should wrap this up because we've been going for a little bit.
Yes.
My thanks to
Just a little.
Skyblaze and Viper for joining me for this special episode.
Thank you for having us.
You're
I
most
say
welcome.
episode.
Yeah, I was just
Broken
thinking
up
of that.
into multiple episodes. And now I just need to do the organisation of which of these soundtracks do I already own and which ones do I need to ask you for. Where do I get them from, and also what's your favourite tracks, because they'll be the ones going in there.
I think I've got all of the ones I've mentioned. So
I think
Pretty
I have
much
at least
same.
half of yours, Skyblaze, because yes, we're definitely familiar on those games.
yes.
But yes, I hope you all enjoyed, and hope you all had a lovely time listening to some either new music or familiar. And I'm sure we'll all catch you at various times somewhere on Radio Sega and or podcasts. Take care, everyone.
See you soon.
Good night.
This was a Last Minute Continue production. For more, please check lastminutecontinue.com.